Welcome back to Arbon Double O. Today I'm going to show you how I automated the engine shed doors front and back. It's been a trial and error situation with prototype after prototype, but I think I've finally got it nailed on the rack and pinion system. So I'll take you across to the PC first and show you how I designed it in Fusion 360. Now, a lot of people think Fusion 360 is going to be a challenge. I'm not an expert in Fusion 360, but I managed to get by, and there is a lot of good videos out there on the internet to show you how to use it. So let's go to the PC and I'll show you the design. After that, we'll start building up one of the doors. So in Fusion 360 I designed both the doors. This one here is the single doors, you put two servos on the mounts here. And this one here is a double door. I'll just hide the single door for just now. I'll bring the view around a little touch. This one here. You can actually see this little part here. This is just to aid the printing, that this part snaps off after you print it. Just a big booty thing up here for printing. You can use your trees as well on your slicer, but I just designed it in there. So I'll also put in the servo mount. And technically speaking, I could put the servo mount on the same print as well. I put in the helical gear, the rack. I also use a little servo I downloaded from the internet as well, just to aid the design piece, and also the gear. If I was clever enough, I'd be able to animate this on Fusion 360, but still a trial and error situation for me just now. So once you've got your design there, you click on the part you want, frame for example. Yeah, save it as a mesh, and then you can export it to your slicer, which I'm using Cura 5 at the moment. So that's a double door printed. I'll take off the bed, print the rest of them. I'll take you over to the workbench and show you how I assemble it. Well, that's all the components here, folks. I've got the frame just printed off there. I've got the rack, and I've got the gear as well. I've got a little servo mount, and I've got the end of the rack. And I've got two sheets of 1mm styrene I'm going to glue together to make the door. I've also got two types of gears here. One's been done with resin and one's been done with a filament printer. You can print the whole lot in filament or resin the way I've set it up. So with the print, I'm not using Cura 5. And it's got this tree effect there, and it's a real pleasure to take off the supports. Now, in the past it was a pain in the butt to say the least. So it comes off very easily. A little file with a file. So I've got the frame, I've got the servo mount as well. I've designed the little holes to line up with them as they go in. And for them, I'm using 9mm by 2.2mm panhead screws. Screw it all the way in, just to get a thread started, and take it back out. So that's the servo mount in. I'm going to put the servo on using the screws that came with the servos. It's a SG90 Tower Pro. It really doesn't matter what way the servo goes, up or down. It makes no difference whatsoever. So that's the servo onto the door frame servo mount. For the doors, I use a bit of plasticard, 70mm high, 105mm wide. I'm just going to use a bit of glue to stick them together. For these ones here, I'm just going to use a bit of plastic glue. Now, you can get a bit of Scotch-Brite, give a little rough up, and then you can paint it before you put it on. The same with the frame as well. You can pre-paint the frame if you want to paint the frame. Depends on what colour of ink, depends what colour of filament you use. So with the rack, I've got this little pipe here, a little spacer. It slides in there. You can, if you want, as well, glue that. The glue I use for that is a Yoo-Hoo all-purpose adhesive. You want to get down as slow as possible. Give yourself as much travel as you need. Just double check, make sure it goes up and down. So as we say, we'll let the glue dry for a couple of hours and we'll come back to it. So I'll put the spline in. So I'll put the gear in there, I'll attach it to this little servo tester. The only issue with this type of servo tester is it doesn't do 180 degrees, it only does 90 degrees. You can make your own servo testers that will do 180 degrees, or you can buy them as well. So just a little test, I'll power it up and see it working. As I say, I won't go through the full range of movement. So that's the door ready to get fitted onto the model. For gluing the door onto the model, same again, I use a Yoo-Hoo glue just to face the model. And that's you've got your working door using a rack and pinion system. On my layout I use the DCC Next for my servo controls. I can actually power off quite a lot of servos off this one model. And indeed the engine shed has got 6 servos running off the model. And I use a separate 5-volt bus and just put the signal wire into the decoder. So I've got plenty of videos on the DCC Next if you want to have a look how you set the servo up on the DCC Next. With the DCC Next as well, I made up a little frame using Fusion 360 as well, just sits in the little cradle between the beams. Well, there you are folks, I hope you enjoyed it. I've been asked 2 or 3 times, do I sell them? The answer is, don't know. I don't know how much I would sell them for, I don't know if it'd be worth my while going into a little production, but hey. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, even leave a comment. Thanks very much folks. Goodbye.